Very good. So today we are going to have a demo session on Core Java. Okay.
Okay.
So before entering into our demo session, first let me introduce myself. So my name is BVM Sai, and I'm gold medalist from Government of Andhra Pradesh. So and I'm PG State Rank 1, and I'm certified database designer from CDAC Pune, and I am good in almost all computer science technologies. Okay, not only Core Java. So 1 minute. So, what are the subjects that I have discussed in that our brochure? So, I can discuss almost every subject. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So, coming to our course, Core Java. So, actually, we are going to take 30 to 40 classes. Okay, depending upon the
Okay.
duration of each class and the complexity of the subject, we are going to take 30 to 40 classes. Okay. So, and coming to the course content, let me share the course content. 1 minute. So, is the screen visible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
So, this is the course content. So, this is the course that we are going to discuss in our Core Java course. Okay. So, first starting with the introduction. So, we are going to discuss all these things. So, what is Java? Differences between C and C++ and Java, Java history and data types in Java, and OOPS concepts. So what are the OOPS concepts? How are they are in C++ and how they are in Core Java? So along with that, we are going to discuss string manipulations. So string functions. Okay. Um,
Okay, sir.
and packages. We are going to discuss about the packages in very detail. So both user defined packages and predefined packages also we are going to discuss. Okay. And most important topic, exception handling also we are going to discuss in Core Java. So along with that, we are going to discuss multi-threading also. Okay, multi-threading is very important course,
Yeah.
important topic in Core Java. So along with that, we are going to discuss IO streams. IO stream is nothing but how the data will flow internally. Okay, and network programming also we are going to discuss along with the wrapper classes, collection frameworks, inner classes, AWT and swings. What is this AWT and swings means? We are going to design graphical applications just like a calculator. Okay, in Windows operating system we are going to have one calculator, right? So that calculator we can design
Yes.
by using this AWT and swing libraries in Java. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So these, even if you don't understand any topic, no need to worry. Okay, why? Because we are going to discuss in very great detail. Okay, in our course. Okay,
Okay.
since this is a demo session, I am going to discuss only a few topics. Okay, only a few topics. So coming to the topics, coming from the basic. Okay, so I usually assume that my students don't know anything. Okay, so I will explain each and every topic from the basic. Okay,
Okay, sir.
so first, in order to understand that how a program executes, we have to know some basic definitions. Okay, first we are
Yeah.
going to know about instruction, and then a program, and then a software. Okay, and then we
Okay.
are going to see normal C program execution. You may get doubt, sir, this is Core Java class, then why are we going to know about C program execution? Okay, so if any particular language is being introduced, because there are some disadvantages in the earlier programming languages. Okay, so for that thing we have to know how a C program will execute and what are the disadvantages. So overcoming the disadvantage, our Java will be designed in such a way to overcome those disadvantages. Clear? Okay. Next we are going to discuss about what is the need of Java. What is the need of Java? Okay, and then we are going to discuss about Java introduction, and we are going to discuss about a very important features of Java. Okay, and then we are going to discuss about some categories of Java. Okay, so these things we are going to discuss today. Okay, at any particular point of time, if you are having any doubt, please unmute yourself and ask me the doubt freely. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, let us enter into the
Okay, sir.
demo topic. Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir, visible.
Okay, so first coming to the instruction, what is an instruction? What is an instruction? So generally, we are writing some programs. That programs we are executing in a computer. We are executing in a computer. So computer cannot understand our language directly. Okay.
Yeah.
So computer cannot understand our language directly. So what we are doing, we have to write in a particular language.
In a binary.
Yes. Computer only understand binary language.
Binary language.
Yes, binary language. So to convert our program into that binary language, so we have to give some command to do any particular operation. For suppose you want to add two numbers, some 10 plus 20. Okay, so could you simply say like, a computer please add 10 plus 20? No. Why? Because it cannot understand that thing. Okay, you have to write corresponding command that the computer could understand and give out as the
Understands.
output. Okay, so that particular command we call it as instruction. Okay, that particular command we call it as instruction. So instruction is nothing but a particular operation to be performed and understandable by the computer. Clear? Computer will understand this instruction and performs that operation. Clear? So, and then coming to the program, what is a program? Very simple. A program is nothing but collection of instructions.
Instructions.
Okay. For suppose, if I ask you like write a C program to do addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Okay. So what is that program? That program includes some instructions. What are those instructions? Addition is an instruction. Multiplication is an instruction. Division is an instruction. Okay. Collection of some instructions, we call it as a program. Clear?
Yes.
So then what is a software? A software is nothing but it is a program. It is a collection of program with particular purpose. For example, calculator. Calculator is a software. Yes, it is a software because it has a particular purpose. What is that particular purpose? To add, to subtract, to multiply, and to divide the numbers. Along with that, we have some other features. Like converting binary to decimal, decimal to hexadecimal. Okay, if you observe carefully, extra features also will be there in a software. Okay, so software is nothing but it is a collection of programs with a particular purpose and some additional functionalities. Clear? Okay, fine. So coming to this normal C program execution, did you have any idea about C program? Hello?
Yes.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, did you have any idea about C program?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Very good. Even basic knowledge is enough, sufficient for this thing. Okay. So what will happen? So how we will get output from a C program? First, we will write our C source program, C program. For example, say it as x.c. Okay, so after compilation, what we will get? We will get some x.obj file, x.obj
Sure.
file. Okay, this
OBJ.
process is called compilation. So what is this x.c and what is this x.obj? This x.c is the program or the language that is understandable by us. Okay, we can understand C language. Okay,
Yeah.
but ultimately,
Okay,
uh,
sir.
to be executed by the system, it should be converted into machine language or a binary language.
Binary language.
Yes, binary language. So that particular form, understandable by the computer, is called this object file. We call it this object file. Okay.
Okay.
So this object file is understandable by the computer, and internally this object file will have assembly level instructions. Assembly level instructions.
Instructions.
Okay.
Okay,
Assembly
sir.
level instructions. Let me zoom the screen.
Instructions.
Be clear for you. Okay, is the screen visible?
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Visible, sir.
So this object code, what we will do? We will do execution and we will get the output file and we will get the output file.
Output.
Okay, we will get
Okay.
the output file. So
Output file.
after compiling the source code, what we get? We get object
That
file.
extra object file.
We get object file. This
Object.
object file is understandable by the computer and it will execute and it will give the output.
Extra. Out.
Okay. So this
Okay,
object
sir.
file is also known as assembly language code
Yes,
and also
language.
called as machine level code.
Machine level app. In
Hmm.
machine level.
Machine level code. Clear?
Okay. Okay,
So
sir.
this is normal C program execution. So what is the
Okay, sir.
problem with this thing? Okay. So first let me tell what is an object file generated after compilation and
After compilation, machine understandable.
okay, this is object file. So what is executable file? This thing. This is executable file generated
Okay.
after linking a set of files using linker. This thing I will explain. So for suppose you have written two C programs. Okay, two
Okay.
C programs you have written.
Secrets.
File1.c and file2.c. Two C
File
programs.
to docs.
Okay, what this for suppose this file1.c is calling a function which is in file2.c. Clear?
అర్థం కాలేదు సార్
Okay, no,
ఇదేంటండి
no problem. I will tell in a simple language. Okay, there are two C languages. So C language programs,
యా
which is file1.c and file2.c.
ఫైల్ టు డాక్స్
Okay, generally we write individual programs. We don't write mutually cooperating program. Okay, so for suppose there is a file1.c is there, which is depending upon file2.c for its execution.
ఓకే
Okay, so
ఓకే సార్ ఐ అండర్స్టాండ్
yes, in order to execute this file1.c, what you have to do? You have to convert this file1.c into object file as well as the required file also into object file.
ఫైల్ టు ఆబ్జెక్ట్
Yes, whatever the main file is there, that thing we will convert into object file by compilation, and the supporting files also we will convert into object file. Why? Because our computer has to understand both. Okay, so this thing is dependent on this thing. So what linker? There is one module called linker. One software will be there. That module will be called linker. This linker, what it will do? Multiple object files it will combine. It will give the output. Okay,
ఓకే
simple. So one very important point we have to keep in mind is whatever the object files we are creating, whatever the assembly language files we are creating, these files are machine dependent. These files are machine dependent. Machine dependent means, for suppose I am having one old version PC with XP OS, Windows XP OS, old version PC. For suppose and you are having one latest version PC, some Windows 10. Okay, high-end configuration PC is there with you. and with me there is an old version PC. Okay, for suppose you have written a C program on your computer and you have compiled it, so one object file will be created in your PC.
Yeah.
For suppose
Yes,
if
sir.
I have taken that object file .obj file and copied into my
Okay.
XP PC, XP old version PC. Okay, and if I execute that object file, where that object file is created in your latest version PC, where I am going to execute it in my old version XP PC.
Old latest PC.
Okay, the program may not run successfully, may not run successfully. Why? Because these assembly language instructions are dependent on the machine architecture.
Yes.
Okay, for suppose I am also having same type of PC that you are having in your home. So I can copy that obj file from your computer and then I can execute it. Why? Because we are both are having same type of computers. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So if I get such type of complexities, if I get such type of complexities, how can I design a software? How can I design a software using C language and CPP? So this flow is there. This flow is there, na? This dot C file
Yeah.
to obj to exe. This thing is same in CPP also. This thing is same in CPP also. Only one difference is we are going to have x dot CPP file. That thing we will get x dot obj file and we will get x dot exe file and we will get the output. Okay,
Yes.
same thing applicable to C language and C++ also. So that is the main disadvantage. That is the main disadvantage. If we design a software and that software will work on only some particular pieces, then who will going to use it? Then who will be going to use it? That's it now. So if our software we designed by using C or C++ and it is not running on all version of PCs, then why people will use it? Clear?
Okay.
So if we design any program or if we write any program, so that particular thing should work on every architecture. So any type of architecture, our program should work in a same manner. So this is the main reason. Of developing a platform independent language. So since we have seen C and C++ or machine dependent and platform dependent language, there is a need for platform independent language. Okay,
Okay, sir.
there is a need for platform independent language. Okay, so if you see our so this thing we have completed and this thing we have completed. So what is the disadvantages? So the disadvantages, C and C++ or platform dependent and machine dependent. Clear? So what is the need of Java? We need platform independent language. So that is the need of Java. Okay, that particular platform independency we don't have in C, C++. That's why we are going for Java. Okay, so in Java we can have platform independent programs. That thing I will explain. Okay, so and next we are going to discuss about uh, Java introduction. Okay, before that, so how we achieve platform independence in Java is the very most important thing and most important interview question also. So I will give you a brief. Since this is a demo class, I will give you only the brief. So there is a one module called JVM, Java
Yeah.
Virtual Machine. Hope you have heard about that.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
this thing is
I
called,
know little.
yes, JVM is called Java Virtual Machine, and this module is the main reason behind the platform independence of Java program. Clear?
Yes.
Okay, this thing we are going to see very detail in our coming lectures. Okay, So now I am going to discuss about the Java introduction. So what is the reason why Java came into picture? Okay. So 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 this thing will be some story like thing. Okay, please be patient. So in 1991, there are few scientists, few programming scientists like James Gosling, Mike Sheridan, Patrick Norton. Some scientists, they are working for a business project. They are working for a business project. Okay, so they thought that their business project should be a successful one. So they thought of the existing languages. So what are the existing languages? C, C++. So they thought like, what if we use C or what if we use C++? So what is the disadvantage with C, C++? So they are platform dependent. So
Platform dependent.
yes, platform dependent. If we even develop a software in C or C++, that software won't run in all the architectures in a same manner. So that is the main disadvantage. So for this business project, for this business projects, these programming scientists in 1991 January, they thought of creating a new programming language, which is platform independent, So initially that programming language, they call it as OAK. Okay, OAK, OAK. Okay, so where these all discussions are going on, these discussions, they are talking in a coffee shop. Okay, they are discussing all these things in a coffee shop. Okay, initially they name that thing as a OAK. Okay, OAK. So but this name OAK is already registered for another company. Okay, you might have heard about copyrights and trademarks. Okay,
Yeah.
so this name was already registered for another company. So ultimately what they have to do, there is no option, they have to definitely change the name. So by the time they're thinking, they got one idea that because of the coffee we were drinking in that coffee shop, we got all these beautiful ideas and we have developed this language. So they thought that where these coffee grains are coming from. So those coffee grains were coming from a coffee island called Java, Java, Java. Okay. So that is Java Island. From that island, we are getting these coffee grains. So based on that, they changed this name Oak to Java. Okay. In this way, the name Java came into existence. Okay. Did you get it?
Yes, I understand.
Yes. Very good. So, so this is the main idea, how this Java name came into picture. Okay. Came into picture. Okay. And next we are going to discuss about features of Java. One second. And next we are going to discuss about features of Java. Okay. So these are the features of Java, very important and very important in interviews also. So coming to the features of Java. So point by point I will explain. Please keep it in mind. Okay.
Yes.
What is the first feature? The first feature is simple. The first feature is simple. So
Simple.
it is saying like Java is simple. Yes, Java is simple. Why? Because we write Java in a normal English language. Since English is an international language, everyone can understand our Java. Okay.
Yes.
For suppose if I define this Java in Chinese language, would you learn Chinese and write programs in Chinese? No, it is
No.
difficult. So since we all are familiar with English language, so that's why they have developed this Java language in English as simple. Okay. So and next second feature, coming to second feature, so it is object oriented. Our Java is object oriented. So there are some concepts of object oriented programming. They are like an object, a class, um, and inheritance, encapsulation. These are all some of the features of object oriented programming. All these features are supported by Java. Okay, all these features are supported by Java. Clear? So, and next coming to another important feature, robustness. Robustness. So for this thing, one simple word is there, which is trustworthy in any situation. So for suppose you have written a Java program to add two numbers, a plus b. So you ask the user to enter some values. So I don't know anything. Simply first number I have entered 10 and second number I have entered a character some C. 10 plus C. Is it possible? No, it is not possible.
Yeah.
It is not possible. Our program will terminate abnormally. Why? Because integer and character it cannot add. Okay. So for that thing, what we have to do? We have to handle that situation. We have to handle that situation. And if the user enter improper data, we have to tell him that, Arey Baba, you have entered wrong data. Please enter integer only. Okay. Please enter integer only. So
Sir,
yes.
మరి సి లాంగ్వేజ్ లో 10+C అన్నప్పుడు అక్కడ సికి మనం ఇచ్చిన ఏదైతే వాల్యూ కానీ ఇంటీజర్ కానీ ఉంటుందో అది యాడ్ అవుతుంది కదా అట్లాగే
Yes, yes.
జావాలో కూడా యాడ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు.
Good question. So coming to this C language uses ASCII coding, ASCII, American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Okay, for every character, it will have some one numerical value. So, but Java don't use any ASCII values. Java uses Unicode, universal code.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you told, like it will add the corresponding ASCII values. It is possible in only in C and C++. It is not possible in Java. Okay, so ultimately it will throw an error at the program will be halted, will be terminated abnormally if you enter some invalid data like 10 plus C, okay, or A plus 20, like that thing. Okay, so then what you have to do, you have to handle the situation. So that particular concept is called exception handling. Okay, exception handling. So during the execution of the program, if anything wrong happens, you means programmer have to handle the situation. Clear? So coming to next important feature, distributed. So what is distributed? Simple. Distributed is nothing but our application should support network protocols. So network communication, it should support. Why? Sir, why it has to support this network? So you have written, you have designed one software in Java and you have released it. So you need it, it should be world famous. So in order to be accessible throughout the world, what is the best way? What is the best way? Internet. Clear? Internet. So if Java supports this distributed feature, automatically you can design programs such a way that they can communicate to each other through the internet. Clear? Example, WhatsApp is one of the good examples. Okay, Facebook. So these are all examples of the applications that communicate over the internet. Clear? So this Java supports that network communication. Clear?
Yeah.
So and next important feature is Java is secure. Why secure? So there are no pointers in Java like in C and C++. We don't have pointers in Java. Why? What is a pointer first? A pointer is nothing but it points to a direct memory location of a variable. Okay. If for suppose I am a hacker and I have hacked your PC. So if I know that particular address location, I can easily hack your value and I can change it. So that leads to security issues. So pointers are eliminated completely in Java. Okay, in Java. So and one more very important and powerful feature, system independence and portability. System independence and portability. System independence, we already discussed about this thing. Okay, what is system independence? If we design a particular software in our PC, it should be able to run in any architecture, any architecture. Okay, it is not like I have designed the software in Windows, it should only work in Windows only. It's not like that. It should also work on Linux PCs also. Okay, Linux and Windows, different architectures are there. So Java allows you to write a software, to design a software that runs on both Windows and as well as Linux machines. Okay, so and portability, what is portability? Simple, you can take the program and you can run anywhere in another PC. So that thing is called portability. Okay, when there is system independence, we can have the advantage of portability. Clear? We can have the advantage of portability. So coming to next feature, it is multi-threaded and high performance. What is multi-threaded? This is very important concept. So I will give you a very basic example. Okay, for suppose there is an arithmetic expression, please hear carefully. There is an arithmetic expression like 10 plus 20 plus 30 plus 40. Okay, 10 plus 20 plus 30 plus 40. Okay, so in general C language or C++, what we will do, we add 10 plus 20 and the result with plus 30 and the result with plus 40. Like that we will do in a linear fashion. So coming to Java, what it will do, Java will know what are the independent operation. So can I perform 10 plus 20 and 30 plus 40 parallelly? Can I add 10 plus 20 and 30 plus 40 parallelly? Yes, I can do. Why? Because they are not dependent internally. Okay, they are not dependent internally. So what I will do, parallelly at particular point of time, I will add 10 plus 20 and I will add 30 plus 40. So what are the results we are getting? We add both of those.
सबसे बड़ी बात कल पढ़ के आए ना कॉलम
1 second. Okay, we add both the values parallelly and the result what we get, we will add. So by doing these parallel operations, what will happen? The execution time will be reduced greatly and we will achieve high performance. Clear? So and coming to next feature, scalability. What is scalability? By using this scalability, we can design small programs as well as larger programs also. So it means like, for suppose you are designing a software where only 10 clients are there, 10 users are there. Okay, you can also use Java in that case. Okay, and another case is you are designing a software, there are some 1 lakh users are there for your software. You can also use Java in that case also. Okay. And next thing, dynamic. Java is dynamic. So what is dynamic? What are the memory allocations are there? What are the deallocations are there? Everything will be done during the runtime. Dynamic is nothing but runtime. So at the time of execution, these memory allocations and deallocations will be taken place. Simple example I will give you practically. For suppose you have written for suppose int a. Okay, one variable you have declared. Okay, you have declared, but you haven't used that variable in your program. So memory wastage will be there. So what Java will do? Java will check the unused variables. What are the variables that are initialized? It will check, and what are the unused variables are there? Then it will automatically free that memory. By using a module called garbage collector. Very important module, garbage collector. Okay. So by using this garbage collector, all the unused variables, all the unused code, okay, will be purified, and memory will be saved. Okay. Okay, and coming to the another important feature, Java is interpreted. Java supports interpreted kind of thing. So what is interpreted? Very simple. So C and C++ are compiled languages. Compiled languages. So C++, our program will be compiled, then we will get output. So what is compilation generally? Compilation is nothing but we convert our code completely into machine understandable code, and we will execute it. Okay. For suppose my program is having 100 lines of code, and 99 lines are compiled successfully, but I got an error at the 100th line. Okay, 100 line I got an error. All this time is wasted. Okay, all the time that I have waited is waste. Okay. So coming to this interpretation, it will not wait for all the lines to get compiled. So interpretation is nothing but you simply compile each line and output at that point of time only. Okay, for suppose 100 lines are there. Line 1, you convert it into machine understandable language and give the output. Okay, for suppose I have displayed some message like hi in first statement, and second statement hello. So first statement, if the first statement is interpreted, then automatically we will get the output there only. It will not wait for other statements to get converted. Clear? So this process is called interpretation. Okay, this thing we are going to discuss in detail in our course. Okay, so these are the very important features of Java. Okay, any doubt in these features?
No, sir.
Okay, very good. So after this thing, we are going to discuss our last topic in our demo session. Those are feature categories of Java. Sorry for that. Categories of Java. One second. Categories of Java. So generally, categories are parts of Java. Categories are parts of Java. We usually hear. Uh, we usually hear different types of wordings like core Java, advanced Java. What is we hear different types of Java names, right? So to get clarity on that, I will clearly tell which type of Java contains which concepts. Okay, which type of Java contains which concept. So these are also known as parts of Java or editions of Java. So coming to first thing, it is standard edition. What is standard edition of Java? What are the programs? So we have seen this thing. One second. First page. So we have seen this thing. So these concepts, all concepts are very important foundation for Java programming. So these concepts are we call it as standard edition of Java or core Java. We also call it as core Java. Okay, we also call it as core Java. Clear? We also call it as core Java. So coming to enterprise edition. What is enterprise edition? Enterprise is nothing but business oriented applications. So what are the libraries we require? What are the Java libraries we require to develop a business application? We call it as enterprise edition. To say simply, it is advanced Java. Clear? So what is standard edition? Standard edition is core Java, and enterprise edition is advanced Java. Okay, in advanced Java we will have topics like JDBC, database connectivity. Okay, how to connect with the database and everything, and as well as we will have servlets and JSP, Java server pages. These three topics will be there in advanced Java course. Okay, that course also we are offering that course also. Okay, and coming to last category, And coming to last category, it is micro edition. What is micro edition? Simple. What are the libraries that we require to develop softwares for mobiles, mobile like devices, mobiles or tablets, whatever is there, those things, those libraries we called as micro edition of Java. Okay, micro edition of Java. So very best example is your Android phone. What is Android? What is Android? Android is one version of Java. So Android OS is designed from a Java libraries only. Clear? So Java micro edition. So from Java micro edition only, they have designed like this Android OS. So if you remember, we were having some mobile phones like N95, N74, N74 mobiles we are having. All those are Java
Yes,
phones
sir.
only. All those are Java phones only. Okay. All those are Java related operating systems only. Clear? Okay. These are the topics we have discussed in our demo session. 1 minute. Okay, so we have discussed about what is an instruction, basic definitions, program software, and normal C program, and disadvantages and need of the Java and the JVM. This thing we are going to discuss in very deep, and Java introduction and features of Java and categories or parts of Java, different editions of Java. Okay, these are the topics we have discussed in demonstration. Are you having any doubts in this particular thing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Uh, so to tell something about my courses, so my main intention is to deliver the lectures. Means our students have to learn something from us. So money is not a matter. So if you consider our fees also, uh, if you compare, definitely we are offering the courses 75% of the outside course fees. Okay, 75% by giving 25% directly. So outside, if you go and inquire, core Java will be minimum 3,500. Okay, 3,000 to 3,500.
I
Yes,
already in advance our office.
your
They asked
audio is not audible. Yes, please.
నేను అర్బన్ ప్రో లో ఆల్రెడీ నేను రిక్వెస్ట్ పెట్టాను సార్
Yes,
జావాకి
yes,
నాకు అన్ని 6,000 22,000 అట్లా వచ్చినాయి.
yes, definitely. Well, because
Yeah.
our main intention is just to deliver our lectures and transfer some concept. Subject oriented learning is our motto. Okay, money is not a big thing for us. So, and even
లేదు సార్ మనీ అని కాదు నేను అంటే ఈ సర్టిఫికేట్స్ అయితే రేపు పొద్దున జాబ్ కి అలా యూజ్ అవుతాయి కదా
yes,
అందుకు అని చెప్పి
so along with all these subjects, we are giving our this syllabus sheet before only at the first class only. We are going to give this syllabus sheet. Why? Because students have to know what subjects they are going to learn in our course. Okay. Along with that, every topic, every subject we will discuss in detail, and we will give practical examples for that thing. Okay, no topic will be left behind. Every topic, even it will take 30 classes, 40 classes, or 50 classes, we will complete all the concepts. Clear? Okay, any doubts in today's class? Okay.
సార్ నాకు అంటే సిఎన్ కంప్యూటర్ నెట్వర్క్స్ కూడా కావాలి అదేమన్నా చెప్పగలరా?
Yes, definitely. I can deal computer networks also. That is my main subject of interest. Computer networks, Java, theory of computation, compiler designs, all these subjects we can handle. Okay, that those course details I will share very soon. Okay.
ఓకే
So after this session, please share your feedback. Okay, ending the session.
ఓకే
Okay, thank you so much.
ఓకే సార్ థ్యాంక్ యూ సార్.